You are live now.
Hello, Bacho. I hope listen to all the previous stories that I have brought for you. So today I get you another story from my favorite author, one of my favorite authors, that is Sudha Murthy again. And this is from her another book by Sudha Murthy. And again, this the publisher of this book is Puffin Books. And I really love to read the stories by Sudha Murthy and interesting. They are captivating. They engage you throughout. So the story that I'm picking up from this book for you today is How I Taught My Grandmother to Read, which is the title of the book also. So here goes the story. How I Taught My Grandmother to Read. When I was a girl of about 12, I used to stay in a village in North Karnataka with my grandparents. Used to come with the papers, weekly magazines, and the post. At that time, Triveni was a very popular writer in Kannada language. She was a wonderful writer. Her style was easy to read and very convincing. Her stories very interesting. Unfortunately, for Kannada literature, she died very young. Even now, after 40 years, people continue to appreciate her novels. One of her novels, called Kashi Yatre, was appearing as a serial in the Kannada weekly Karmavira then. It is the story of an old lady and her ardent desire to go to Kanya. This old lady also believed in this, and her struggle to go there was described in that novel. In the story, there was also a young orphan girl who falls in love, but there was no money for her wedding. In the end, more important than worshipping Lord Vishweshwara at Kashi. My grandmother, Krishtaka, and listened with greatest concentration. Later, she could repeat the entire text by heart. Anybody else, she was the one most interested in knowing what happened next in the story and used to insist that I read the serial out to her. After hearing what happened next in Kashi Yatre, she would join her friends at the temple courtyard, where we children would also gather to play hide and seek. She would discuss the latest episode with her friends. At that time, I never understood why there was so much debate about the story. Once I went for a wedding with my cousins to the neighboring village. In those days, a wedding was a great event. We children enjoyed ourselves thoroughly. We would eat and play endlessly, savoring the freedom because all the elders were busy. I went for a couple of days, but ended up staying there for a week. When I came back to my village, I saw my grandmother, means mother in the Kannada spoken in North Karnataka. She nodded, but she did not reply. I did not understand and forgot about it. In the night after dinner, we were sleeping in the open terrace of the house. It was a summer night and there was a full moon. Awa came and sat next to me. Her affectionate hands touched my forehead. I realized she wanted to speak. I asked her, "What is the matter, Awa?" When I was a young girl, I lost my mother, Awa said. There was nobody to look after and guide me. My father was a busy man and got married again. In those days, people did not consider education essential for girls, so I never went to school. I got married very young and had children. I became very busy. Later, I had grandchildren and always felt so much happiness in cooking and feeding all of you. At times, I used to regret not going to school, so I made sure that my children and grandchildren told the story of her life in the middle of the night. But I knew I loved her immensely, and there had to be some years. She was a good looking lady who was usually always smiling. Even today, I cannot forget. I saw the picture that accompanies the story of Kashi Yatre, and I could not understand anything that was new. It was not possible. If only I was educated enough. I waited eagerly for you to return. I did not know what to answer. Our continued. I have decided I want to learn the Kannada alphabet from tomorrow onwards. I will work very hard. I will keep Saraswati Puja Day during the At this age of 62, you want to learn the alphabet? All your hair is grey, your hands are wrinkled, you wear spectacles, and you work so much in the kitchen. Childishly, I made fun of the old lady, but she just smiled. For a good cause, if you are determined, you can overcome any obstacle. The next day onwards, I started my tuition. Awa was a wonderful student. The amount of homework she did was amazing. She would read, repeat, write, and recite, and made me sit down on a stool. She gave me the gift of a frock material. Then she did something unusual. She bent down and touched my feet. I was surprised and taken aback. We consider that as a mark of respect. It is a great tradition. But today, the reverse had happened. A teacher who taught me so well, with so much affection, that I can read any novel confident my teacher. Is it not written in our scriptures that a teacher should be respected, irrespective of gender and age? I did return namaskara to her by touching her feet and gave my gift to my first student. She opened it and read immediately the title Kashi Yatre by Triveni and the publisher's name. I knew that my student had passed with flying. I'm in love with this book and I really love the way Sudhamurthy writes these. Presenting, I'll be reading out another story to you in my next video. Till then,